this afternoon, the leadership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, including those from the Houses of Parliament, met with our delegates to the envisaged national dialogue to review developments on the envisaged talks. Any reasonable observer of the happenings in the last few weeks will agree with us that Kenya Kwanza has no intention whatsoever of holding any dialogue at all, let alone one that is honest, transparent, and bipartisan. They have exhibited absolute bad faith from the beginning, and we...
Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I'm glad you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, after listening to Azimio's press statement and carefully going through the details that KALONZO highlighted during that press statement, I can authoritatively say that there is not going to be a bipartisan talk and all roads will be heading to the streets. I've listened to the words that came from KALONZO, but again, KALONZO was representing what Azimio leadership are deliberated on. So the Kenya Kwanza people have devised a way of merely trying to go against the agreement between RAILA and RUTO by forming a joint select committee that would pick people from Azimio and people from Kenya Kwanza to go and discuss about the issues of bipartisan. In that joint select committee, again, it's alleged that the issues that are going to be discussed was to be formulated from that committee, in that the demands of Azimio One Kenya Alliance hazingeweza kuwa factored in that joint committee. So this is what the Azimio leadership has termed as madharau ya hali ya juu. So KALONZO highlighted that William Ruto is exhibiting unseriousness or lack of seriousness in tackling the issues that they are representing in their 5 points agenda. The issue of high cost of living, the issue of reinstatement of IEBC officials, the issue of opening that server for forensic audit of the server, the issue of respect for democracy. These are things that William Samoei Ruto is running away from. There are things that I've noticed that I'd like us to discuss in this analysis. But before we talk about those issues, allow me to share that video where KALONZO highlights the points.
The leadership of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, including those from the Houses of Parliament, met with our delegates to the envisaged national dialogue to review developments on the envisaged talks. Any reasonable observer of the happenings in the last few weeks will agree with us that Kenya Kwanza has no intention whatsoever of holding any dialogue at all, let alone one that is honest, transparent, and bipartisan. They have exhibited absolute bad faith from the beginning, and we will highlight the same as follows. Number one, when Honorable Ruto invited us for talks, he did not in his speech capture the entire framework for talks as had been agreed upon with the emissaries he sent to us. This includes leaving out key issues on the cost of living and electoral justice, which are of utmost importance to us and the people of Kenya. Number two, the delay in naming his team is another sign of a lack of seriousness that has been made worse by the inclusion of members of the Azimio coalition in his team, when the whole country knows that respect for multi-party democracy is one of the key issues we have put on the table. Number three, to date, Kenya Kwanza has failed to name the leadership of his team as a way of stonewalling. Number four, last evening, we learned of a motion drafted by Kenya Kwanza leadership allegedly aimed at setting up a joint selection. The motion is in absolute bad faith for the following reasons. A, we have insisted on an extra-parliamentary process in view of the strictures of debate in Parliament. We will therefore not participate in any such parliamentary process. B. The motion is disguised as a product of bipartisanship, when in fact the leadership of Azimio and Parliament were neither aware nor consulted in its drafting. C. The motion proposed to name members of the minority party to the so-called select committee without any reference to the minority leadership, in violation of the standing orders of both houses. And D. The motion purports to set the terms of reference and scope of the discussions without any reference to us. We continue to insist that the dialogue must be about all the four issues, namely the cost of unga, fuel and electricity, forensic audit of the servers, bipartisan reconstitution of the IEBC.
Yes, from that video, you can tell that all is not going to be well for this bipartisan talk. Azimio are saying that RUTO has not appointed the person who's going to co-chair the bipartisan committee, whereas Azimio had appointed Otiende Amolo to the person who was going to be co-chaired. So the idea here is that the Kenya Kwanza is supposed to come up with their own chair, just like the Azimio have come up with their own, so that jointly they can have a co-chairing kind of arrangement. But the faction of Kenya Kwanza have dilly-dallied on this issue. The faction of Kenya Kwanza has again decided not to remove the name of Aden Kinan, because Aden Kinan is one of those people who is still in Azimio, because Jubilee is part of Azimio, and since Jubilee is one of those people who are pushing for this bipartisan talk from the Azimio and Kenya lands, it is only prudent just that William Ruto appoints people who are not in Azimio. He should go for people who are in Kenya Kwanza. But if Aden Kinan would like to be representative to represent these talks, then he should just resign from that position so that he can represent the talks. So it is a slap on the face. If the moment Moses Wetangula decided to read that bill, that was in it a slap in the face, because Moses Wetangula is trying to force these talks to go the Kenya Kwanza way and not an all-inclusive kind of talk. That is why I maintain today that Marende was one of the best speakers in this country, because I remember when there was issue between RAILA and and Kibaki, Marende weighed in and took over this issue and told these two gentlemen to first of all agree, alafu atawaachia ile role ambayo alikuwa amechukua. So but you find that Wetangula is just being one-sided. In fact, Wetangula is not even trying to cure this problem that Kenyans are being faced with. So the issue of bipartisan talk, I personally don't think will bear any fruit, because of the way the speaker himself has taken one side. The speaker is supposed to be neutral and is supposed to represent the issues of both houses, but the speaker is already taking its own position of the government side only. So this speaker is not a watchdog like we've always wanted to have a speaker who ambaye anaangalia maslahi ya wananchi. Huyu speaker anaangalia maslahi ya serikali. That's the reality, ladies and gentlemen, because how then would a person like Wetangula go to an extent of reading that bill, despite the fact that he knows that this is not something that the Azimio wants to be done that way. The Azimio wanted to be done outside the parliament. But by the fact that Wetangula is formulating that committee through the parliament already means that yeye after protecting the government interest, not the people's interest. So that's why Wetangula is not helping anything, ladies and gentlemen. Azimio's 5-point agenda must be, they have said that I want to settle for anything lesser than that. They must be delivered. So ladies and gentlemen, kindly share your text below the comment section, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And as usual, I'd like to urge you to stay safe and stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.